Hello, and welcome to another episode of Nearing Nerdvana. Today, I have two amazing people with me joining me: Derek, H&H Comics, and Cynthia, Lady International. And we'll be talking about some awesome books that honestly, some that I have never heard of, and some that they have great history. And I'm so ready to learn. But let's first start saying hi, Derek. How are you?
Hey, Lucy. Hi, chat. I'm doing awesome. Great to be on the show. I'm pretty much a regular in your chats on your shows for ladies, for the comic book women. So happy to have a chance to actually be on air.
Yay! Thank you for joining us. I'm so excited. And Cynthia, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to be back. Good to see you
Yay!
guys.
We're supposed to have Lucas. Lucas is missing. If you guys can find Lucas, tell him to get over here. So hopefully he'll be joining us. If Mel said he might be asleep, if he wakes up, I don't know. Hopefully he'll be able to join us. But first, before I forget, I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Bird City Comics. Make sure you guys download the app. And if you guys download the app, use our code Nirvana to get I think it's 15%. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but might be 10, 15. Hey, you might be surprised. Who knows, right?
Something
Just try
double
it.
digits, huh?
They have some amazing books. Also, cover price. User code Nirvana 14 for 30 days of unlimited cover price for 99 cents. I think it's only for new members, and it's for a basic membership only. And now that I'm done messing up our sponsors. Also, cover price have which I should have known this long time ago, but Josh International, he writes for cover price. He There's some
Yep.
awesome articles there, like what they talk, like they have the hot 10, I think that's what they call it. And I like that they write their own little uh like what they think about the book, and also like obviously like the what the market is going and stuff like that. So I like it. It's pretty cool. I just learned that not so long ago, guys. And I want to say thank you to Nimesh. Thank you, Nimesh. I hope you guys enjoy our show today. I'm hosting, so you never know what's gonna happen. But let's get this started. I asked Derek to pick some of the books, and so he's gonna be our teacher today, and we're gonna start with Crown Comics. So,
All right.
Derek, tell us about this.
Okay. So first of all, I'm one of the members of the Black Comic Lords, and in our community, you know, we really want to focus on celebrating and educating on and supporting Black comics creators and characters. So a lot of what we do, in addition to just having a community, is just to share what we know about books, especially some of the ones that are kind of groundbreaking. So one name that comes up a lot is Matt Baker. He's an awesome artist, great work, and he was really ahead of his time in terms of what he was able to do. And Crown Comics is near and dear to us, not only because it's a Matt Baker book, but also because it features the very first Black featured superhero in a comic book. And that superhero's name is Vuda. He's actually not on the cover. That's not him on the cover, but he's in the last story in this anthology book. And interesting thing about this is, he shows up in Crown Comics
Sorry,
number. Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was on the. I thought we had a. I know we went through
I
this,
probably
and I
should have
thought it was.
included a picture. Yeah. So he shows up in Crown Comics number 3, and he's Black. But then after that, in subsequent issues, he's all of a sudden white. So it's like this Black dude turns to Tarzan. Is basically the way I think of it. And that's kind of a theme that you'll see sometimes in comics. You'll see, Black characters, if they're going to be heroic, going further back, then, sometimes the race would change. Just one of those interesting things that would happen. But it's a great book because once again, Matt Baker did the cover. Matt Baker did the pencils and a lot of the stories. And in that last story on Buddha, then he also basically created the first black featured hero in the comic book.
There you go.
And Jay,
Somebody's already.
Jay, that's a good point. We hear about Matt Baker all the time in all these shows, and not many people know that he was black. Now, here's
I
the cool,
didn't
or
know.
most interesting thing about it, right? This is at a time when, if you're a black artist, it's next to impossible for you to get a job writing for anything mainstream, right? But his talent was so great, so undeniable, that they had to give him everything that was due to him and feature him and give him credit for the work that he was doing. So
That's
that's
pretty
how awesome he
awesome.
was as an artist, outstanding among all of
Wow.
his peers.
And I love that picture. He's so handsome.
Yeah, and another thing about him, he died pretty early. I can't remember exactly, but it might have been like mid, maybe mid 30s. I don't remember exactly. He kind of had he lived a fast life and died pretty early. So
Oh, that's sad.
before, we lost him
Mhm.
before he should have.
Okay, so this character, do you think that like you said that the later on was turned into a white character, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll bring him back now, like that they are focusing more of the black characters and stuff like that? You think they will bring him back to his origin, like being a black character again, or they would just kind of forget about him?
I couldn't guess. I mean, my guess would be it's probably a character you might not see anymore, just because it, that kind of motif just doesn't exist that much today in
Hmm.
stories, and people wouldn't find it interesting.
Mm.
Brooklyn, my bud, saying 34 years old is when he died, or
Oh
the
wow,
age of
so
when Matt Baker
young.
died. Yeah.
Wow, that's super young. That's crazy. Wait, hold on. Chad Case said 37, died in 59.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
Okay, okay. So this one, last recorded sale was December 2021 at $800 for a 7.5. Most common raw is around 467. The greatest rated point 3.03, 4.5, which is
Hmm.
not bad. Also, I mean, the year, 1940, 1947. That's crazy. And well, 840 for 7.5. If you think you like, if they kind of clean it up or something, well, maybe I wonder if maybe it's already pressed and clean and everything. Maybe that's why they're getting that grade. I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
think, Cynthia? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Um, I mean, Golden Age books, they can be a little touchy because I mean, Golden Age books, they were definitely printed back when paper quality was of a lesser quality. So getting anything from the 40s in high grade is really hard. So yeah, sometimes you can press them and get a higher grade. Sometimes
Yeah.
you can get them clean, but it's kind of hit or miss. So
That's true.
yeah.
I didn't think about like the paper
Hmm.
quality and all that. Let me see. I wouldn't press and clean a Golden Age book. I kind of like the books when they like you seen that they've been through stuff. I like that.
Gives them gives them character. I've got some
Yes.
Golden Age books, so yeah, I don't have any of mine graded. So yeah, love that
Yeah.
old book smell.
Yeah, and see, and that's why I don't like to grade my books, because I kind of I like being able to touch them and go through them and give them some love. That's
Hmm.
just me. I know people do it for other reasons, and that's okay, but I like my books like that.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. And this one's on Negro Comics number 1. So
Yep.
hit it there.
So, I was watching your show last year. I think you had Lucas, and Lucas actually featured this book on
Oh,
Negro
okay. That's
Comics #1. So it was created in 1947. You had a group of black writers and artists, led by Orrin Evans, and he worked at a newspaper. I forget the name of the newspaper. And basically, what they wanted to do was create their own comic book made by and featuring and made for Black people. So that's what all Negro Comics was. And it was really the first of its kind. And the sad thing about this, though, was they had an issue number 2 already written and done, but the paper providers were not willing to sell in the paper to print this comic on, so they were not able to print it. So sad story there. I
Oh
wish
wow.
I could somehow just, I don't know,
Do we
wander into
like the
some space
script
and
or something?
yeah, I would love to just somehow trip over or open up some suitcase that happens to have that number 2, But the interesting thing about this book is it's somewhat hard to find, because if you think about it, it was only circulated in the Black community, and so the circulation is probably a lot more limited than most comics. So it's a really tough one to find. As you can see by the price, that's a low grade, like a 2.5, and it's $7,800.
That
Yeah.
is
So
so great. That's I know when I saw the price, I was like wondering why. Like, why is it like so? It's so much. That's crazy. Which I mean, again, 1947. Like and now knowing more of the history behind this one, it's crazy.
Jay's saying they should print issue number 2 now. I guess if somebody actually had it, that might be a good idea. Actually, there was a Kickstarter a few months back. So this book just went public domain, so anybody can print this book. So one company did
Oh.
Kickstarter a few months back, and they did a hardbound reprint edition of the book. So that's pretty
Mm.
awesome. And then another interesting thing is there's one character, you see this guy on the left in the loincloth shorts. So
Mhm.
his name is Lion Man. And interesting story, he's a African American sent to Africa in search of uranium. And just some aspects of that story might kind of remind you a little bit of T'Challa, a
That's
lot
what
of
I.
times
As
in the
soon as
comic.
you said that, it just kind of that's where my head went right away.
Yeah, but there's another story. I'm kind of getting off topic here. There's
It's okay. It's
a
okay.
comic strip called Speed Jackson, done by the Chicago Defender, um, written by, I think the writer's name was Jay Jackson, but he also had an interesting series called, Speed Jackson, and in that series, he finds a remote, secret African kingdom that is highly civilized and advanced. So two stories that to me seem like precursors for Stan Lee to leverage to create Wakanda and T'Challa.
Mm. Maybe he got inspired by that.
Maybe, who knows?
Hmm. Well, that's nice. Cynthia, do you have anything to add?
I was just admiring like the cover. I love Golden Age covers. Like this is really cute. I like it.
Yeah,
I
it's a
love
tough
Yeah.
it.
one. It's a tough one to find in that
Right.
condition, and
Yeah,
it's
I
definitely a
bet.
grail. It's a grail. Definitely in the Black Comic Lords community is super grail. We did a show a few weeks, about a month ago. Black comics you must have, and this was like at the top of just about everybody's list. So yeah,
Hmm.
Huh.
everybody wants this one.
I'm like
But you
trying
can
to.
find a
Yeah.
cheap you can find a cheap copy of it
Oh,
on
look at you.
Amazon. This is a reprint.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. How
Nice.
much was that for that
It's
reprint?
like $15 or $16 on
Oh,
Amazon
it's
if
not
you
bad.
want it and yeah, want to read through it. Yep.
Is that like bigger than the regular comic book?
It's kind of magazine sized book.
Okay, it does look a
Yeah.
little bit. Hold on, let
Oh yeah,
me put
here we
you
go.
in a bigger. Oops, not me. Oh, wait, what are we doing?
What's
Ah,
up?
hold on, how do I switch it?
Slide me over to the big.
Okay, there
There
you
you
go.
go.
There you go.
There. See, I'm not that good on this stuff. That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to do it, and I kind of, let me see. Oops.
It's Derek's show.
And Derek show today. Just kidding. That is pretty cool. And I was looking at the more on the cover, and it looks like the little boy took Cupid's uh bow because he has little wings and it has
Yes.
like the arrow through and it's like a little mermaid.
Yeah, like little details like that.
Little mischief, like a little. little boy. That is cute. I like it. Okay. So this one, classic illustrated number 15, Uncle Tom Cabin,
So yeah, so this was
1951.
Lucas's book. I'm not quite
Sorry,
sure,
Lucas. Come on.
Yeah, hurry up, Lucas. I'm not quite sure why he put this on the list, but obviously a lot of people are probably familiar with Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Hmm.
Very extremely popular book, written by Harriet Beecher Stowe. Two noteworthy things about it: it outsold the Bible, and Abraham
Yeah.
Lincoln, when he met Harriet Beecher Stowe, he basically said, "So you're the woman who is
Started the
responsible,
Civil
who
War.
started the Civil War, basically." So the book Uncle Tom's Cabin basically, it raised awareness and compassion for the lives that slaves lived, and the lack of compassion that was shown towards them, in the South. So there's kind of an uprising. Um,
Wow, and I
there,
want to read this now.
yeah.
Looking at
Now,
here.
now the since the book came after the book came out, because it was so popular, and this is kind of based on some reading that I've done. I think the character Uncle Tom, who was based on a real slave that Harriet Beecher Stowe knew and interviewed, that character was turned into a caricature, and was especially through the minstrel shows where you have traveling minstrels, or traveling groups, and doing blackface, impersonating black characters, all for fun mostly, trying to be funny. It turned him from more of a sympathetic character into a character that's, I don't know, just not as venerable. So it's kind of sad, because the real person that Uncle Tom is based off of actually left the United States. He actually was able to get free, went to Canada, and then, as I understand it, he still worked hard and maybe even made some trips back to the United States to try to bring back some other slaves. So he's kind of
Wow.
a sad character. But today, if somebody were to call me an Uncle Tom, that wouldn't be a good thing. And it's not necessarily because of this book. It's because of you know the caricature, and the characterization that happened to Uncle Tom, mostly because of that happened after the after the book came out, and through minstrel shows and other media of the day.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah.
wow. I really learned. I'm just learning. It's just like so much. Like I was saying, like there's so much history and everything on these books. It's just so crazy. And then for me, a lot of this stuff, it's just like I don't realize how crazy things were. Back in the day. Like I just yeah, a little
Yeah.
ignorant when it comes to things like that. And um I I love learning history, but at the same time, it's like as I'm learning it, like it pisses me off, like how
Yeah.
things were, but that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. There's just like a general theme, that I notice as I go back and look at some of these books. If you're gonna, at this point in time, if you're gonna have a black character who's heroic, then things are gonna happen to make the character look less heroic, or even to make the character look less like a human and more
Mhm.
like, an animal, right? And that was just the way things worked back then, and it's very frustrating. So a lot of the rest of the books that I picked out, they're really focused on positive images. Some of the first times we saw positive images of some black characters, and I think that's probably what the next one is a good example of.
That's awesome. Let me see. Okay, so Weird Fantasy. There you go. Like a kind of good segue to that Weird
Yeah.
Fantasy 18. So tell us a
Yes.
little.
So yeah, this one is probably my favorite book. It's Golden Age. You can see dated 1953, but published in 1952 by EC Comics. And this is Weird Fantasy is another anthology book, and had, I think, 3 or 4 stories. I can't remember. But the last story is called Judgment Day, and it's a really groundbreaking story. And so what happens in the story is you have this astronaut named Tarleton who lands on this planet that's completely inhabited by robots, blue robots and orange robots. And he, all the robots are greeting him, and he's basically arrived to this planet with a job of evaluating or auditing them to see if they are civilized enough to join, the Galactic Republic, basically. So as he's going through, in the beginning, things look pretty cool. He sees that, they're pretty technological. He goes, and, things are looking okay. But as he goes to the factory where the robots are actually made, he notices, well, in this factory only creates the orange robots. And, I'm going to try to skip through the story, but as he keeps looking and asking questions, he starts seeing more signs that, okay, something's off here. The orange robots seem to get all the benefits of this place, and the blue robots are there to be providing those benefits. The blue robots are created in their own factory, despite the fact that when he asks, hey, is there any difference between the blue and the orange on the inside? And they're like, no, it's just the outside. That's the only difference. Otherwise, we're the same. But the menial jobs are given to the blue robots. The nice jobs are given to the orange ones. So after going through all this, he finally says, all right, guys, I've reached my verdict here. You're not ready. We'll have to come back later because you're not ready to join as a civilized planet. And, they're really upset about this. And it's basically because, they've set up their own racist society. So the twist in this comes when at the end of the story, on the very last panel, when he's back in his spaceship on his own, he takes off his helmet, and it turns out he's a black man. So for the readers, the whole time they're reading the story and they're thinking, wow, okay, this is, interesting. But at that time, 1952, nobody had ever thought of or heard of a black astronaut, probably. And for a black man to be an astronaut in a place of status in a story like that, but then you not know it until the very last panel, that's, a pretty big, it's almost like a troll, really, of some of the readers. So, and the next page, if you want to go there, can show you the picture of the last panel. So here's that picture, the final panel. So this is the first time it's a black man. And this story caused an uproar. Maybe not the first time it came out, which was Weird Fantasy number 18, but if you go back to the previous page, it was reprinted in Science Fiction number 33, which came out in 1956. And when they were trying to reprint it, at that point in time, the Comics Code Authority had been established. And now this is the story from Al Feathers. I think his name is Featherston, but the person from EC Comics. His story is that they were told, you can't get a seal on this book unless if you remove this black man from the last panel. And they refused. And then Comics Code Authority came back and said, well, you at least need to take the beads of sweat off of his face. That's the story. And they refused to do that too. They went on and printed it. And shortly afterwards, EC Comics went out of the comics business, and they started up Mad Magazine. So
Nice.
interesting story. And
Yeah.
another thing about this book is there's also one of the other stories in this book is written by Ray Bradbury. So those are the two things. I think the thing that prevents this book from being a really big book is probably that, number one, a lot of people probably don't know about this anti-racist story here. Number two, because the cover is just not that attractive of a cover. They could probably come up with something better
Yeah.
to put on the cover.
It's just I mean the cover. I mean, obviously it's like space and stuff like that, and it just like everything that you just told us it's just complete kind of different. Like yeah, they could have done probably like you said a better job
Yeah,
at, at, at doing the cover, which I kind of like that it's just kind of like throws you off from so
yeah,
to pick it up and read like what like find out, and especially back then you don't want to give like hints of what's the story about and you want to sell the book too
yeah. And also
but
one other thing, so I have a few
yeah,
copies of this one because this happens
let
to be a
me
favorite. So
try to figure this out. Wait.
There we
there
go.
you go. All right. And you can also see behind me, I've got
Yeah,
the
I
astronaut on the
really
wall
like
too.
that.
So yeah,
How did you get
Nice.
printed out? Did you print it out yourself? Did you get
there's
it made, or how did you get the one in the back?
I upscaled and enlarged
See,
I found a really good digital picture of that, and then I upscaled and
mhm.
enlarged it and sent it off on my own to get a steel, steel print of
That's
it.
pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's I really like that. I really like that story, and hopefully, maybe because I mean, obviously for 500, I mean $900, like I cannot afford that, even if it's a raw at 396, maybe a lower grade, I will be able to afford it, but which I'm okay. Uh, maybe how Jen says you never know, might find it in back issues somewhere at a
yeah,
garage sale, which will be freaking amazing
yeah.
because
The thing
I
about it
can read
is,
it.
it's not a there's not a bondage cover. It's not a horror cover. It's pre-code, but unless you know what you're looking for, you could just bypass this cover
Yeah.
without giving it a lot of attention.
Oh
That's what
my
I
god!
tend to
Now
think.
I'm trying to see because when I was buying, I like weird fantasy, like all those like kind of like weird, weird books that I was getting, like especially like the older ones, because I like that's kind of like my type of thing. I like those kind of books, and now I'm like, oh man, I wonder if I even passed this book because I remember seeing a bunch of them, like the weird fantasy, like and then others, and I hope I didn't freaking pass this up.
And it did get reprinted in the 90s too. So you can find the 90s
Oh, a
reprint of that.
reprint? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I'm okay with that. I'll take a reprint. I just want to
yeah,
read it. So that's cool. So then there's the panel, which is pretty cool. I like
yeah.
that.
I,
I'm
I
just
see you,
yeah.
Brooklyn. All
This
right.
is right. Have it here. Okay, so Silver Surfer number 5 from 1969.
All right. So I'm highlighting this because just last week, a book came out that has relevance to Silver Surfer number 5. So in 1969, Stan Lee wrote the story for Silver Surfer number 5, and he included this character that you see on the right-hand side of the screen. His name is Al Harper. So he's a black man who basically, when Silver Surfer falls from space and is kind of trapped on Earth, um, Al Harper's the guy who kind of grabs him, takes him back to his house, and kind of nurses him back a little bit, and then finds out that Silver Surfer needs help because he needs somebody to help him build a device that's going to allow him to break through the galactium barrier, I believe. So Al Harper says, "Well, I happen to be a scientist. However, I just don't have any money to build the device you want, but I'll stay and try to start working on building a device if you can go out and get some money." So Silver Surfer, he says, okay. He puts on some clothes and tries to go out to get some work to make money. So he's actually going through town and trying to get a job. And because he looks different from everybody else in town, and nobody's willing to give him a job. So, part of the story is Silver Surfer being somebody, who's an other in the in on Earth, finding out what it's like to be an other. So I kind of think this was Stan Lee's way of saying, hey, let's stop and think about how we're treating people that don't look like us, especially those that are, that can be marginalized. So anyway, back to the story. He finally does come into some money, and now Al's able to build this device. And so Silver Surfer goes back up, and he's confronting the Stranger. Meanwhile, there's also been this device that the Stranger has left on planet Earth that's going to explode. And Al he creates a detector that he can use to find this device. So he finds the device, and he's trying to deactivate it, but the device has been booby trapped. But he decides he's going to deactivate it anyway. Uh, Poison comes out of the device, and he dies. But because he deactivated the device, he saved the world.
Mm.
So yeah,
He's a
so
hero.
basically, he's a hero. If you go back a page, I just want to note something. It's really the way that Al Harper is drawn. Like, you look at the picture in the panel in the bottom right there.
Hmm.
He's drawn like a hero, right? You look at him, and he looks like he's muscular. He's got the hero build, right?
Yeah.
But he only shows up in this one issue. But he made such an impact on Silver Surfer. The fact that he was so willing to help Silver Surfer, despite the fact that he didn't look like other humans. The fact that he sacrificed himself to save the whole world. Silver Surfer created an everlasting flame on Al's, I think it was unmarked grave. So Al Harper dies. Nobody really knows that he's died, and Silver Surfer's the only person that knows. And also, I think because of
Silent
Al's,
hero.
yeah, and also because of Al's sacrifice, I think the Stranger decides to leave Earth alone too, because he thinks, hey, maybe these humans are redeemable. So
Mm, I
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
So
I like this story. Um, Cynthia, do you have any thoughts on this?
Silver Surfer's new to me, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm following along. This is pretty cool. It's a neat
Yeah.
little story of a, slightly unexpected, and it's very interesting to me. So I'm following along.
yeah, and this story out, this story came out, a few months after Martin Luther King's death. So
Oh. Mm.
um, I think Stan Lee had a lot going on in his mind, and I
Hmm.
think he really wanted to obviously some readers don't like comics to get political. Actually, there's a
I was
person from
just
my
gonna ask you about
yeah.
this. Do you
it's-
think that it is this like being political, like
Well, yeah,
especially
there's a
for the time
well,
being like
comics have always been political. Let's not play
yeah,
games, right? There's always messages behind the comics, and
yeah.
really the main factor that I think editors are worried about is, okay, how close to the line can I get without just causing us to lose a lot of money?
Hmm.
But then that's why you see so many things happen in comics, around black
Yeah.
people, earlier comics, and I can talk about a few of those later. But anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, I think Stan was trying to send a message, and on the main, if you go back to the first picture on the bottom left of the
Hmm.
cover,
Let's see.
you see, and who shall mourn for him, right?
Mm,
So that's the question that was asked. So now, and
that's fine.
okay, Brooklyn. So yeah, I've got the 9.2 of Silver
Yes,
Surfer number 5. If you're gonna call me for a flex, I
there it
might live
is.
in the abyss, but I still have some stuff in the abyss. He's always give me a hard time. So
Eh,
yeah.
hold on. Wait. What am I doing?
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're just gonna leave it there. Just kidding. Oh no, there. Okay, I'm trying to get used to the buttons.
Yeah, it takes a little while.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we
and
can get
this book was kind of uncelebrated for a long time, because we think about the early Silver Surfer run, a lot of keys there, right? Um, but it hasn't gone up much since the announcement that about this next book that we'll talk about.
let's see.
Yeah.
So this is a good one. So now this
Yep.
one, Silver Surfer, goes like number one. It came out. Is it out yet, or it's not out
It's
yet?
out. It's
It's
out. Yeah.
out. Okay,
Hmm.
it's out now. And I don't know if I don't know if I saw this book at all. Now tell us a little bit, and then I have a little some questions.
Okay. So this story was written by John Jennings. He's a professor, a writer, a curator, big into Afrofuturism, and he basically pitched the story to Marvel of, hey, um, what if we try to resurrect Al Harper? And he had a whole story behind it. They liked the story, so they said, okay, why don't you write it? So that's kind of how that came about. We actually interviewed John Jennings a few weeks back, so he went into detail about the process of that and what it was like and what were his motivations. But the big thing for him was, he remembers reading this book when he was a lot younger, and it made an impact on him. And he really wanted to answer the question of who shall mourn for him. So basically, what happens here is you find out that he's got a family. He's got his mother. He's got a sister. His sister has a whole family, and they're living in a house that they inherited from him after he died. And you find out what they're up to. And this is basically 10 years in Marvel years. It's 10 years after Al Harper died, and she has a niece and nephew. And in this first issue, the niece and nephew, uh, through a chain of events, cause him to be resurrected. So when he's resurrected, all of a sudden he has powers. I don't know exactly how he gets those powers. Maybe we'll find out in the second issue. But the hero, that his hero name is going to be Ghostlight. So I think this one is probably going to qualify as maybe his cameo. for people who
issue
care about
issue
that
one.
stuff. Yeah,
Issue
Ghostlight's
one.
cameo. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess issue number 2 will probably be the first full appearance. Once again, for
Mm-hmm.
people who care about that. But it came out last
But
week, and
but
yeah,
then
yeah,
his real Al's first appearance will be this other book, right? Like
correct.
this
Yeah,
is this
his
is
first
his
appearance
first
as a
appearance
normal human
here.
is this one here.
Yeah.
He
In
maybe
this.
got mentioned a few times in a few other Silver Surfer books, just mentions though, and then
Mm-hmm.
is the next time you see Al Harper is in this book here,
Yeah. So see,
54 years later.
okay, they brought him back,
Hmm.
so you don't do you think how the very first comic, The Crown, like was it which one was it? The Crown Comics?
Yeah, Crown
They could
Comics number 3.
yeah.
Yeah.
You think that they could do the same thing,
Well, somebody could decide to do it. I don't know if
you know?
I
Mm?
don't know if Crown Comics is public domain, and I don't know who owns Crown Comics. Now,
Oh, okay, never mind.
Liger Style has an
Yeah.
interesting point. If you could put that on the screen.
Okay.
So this is interesting. So I don't know if you've seen cover number 2 of Silver Surfer Ghostlight. Um, it's a picture of Ghostlight punching Silver Surfer, knocking him off of his surfboard. So
Oh.
the reason why I bring that up is because if you think about Hulk 181, that's a picture of Wolverine and Hulk, in a confrontation. So it's the same way you have a Hulk 180 and 181 debacle for Silver Surfer Ghostlight 1 versus 2. You also have on the 181 version of this, you have these two characters, the new character and a well-established character in a confrontation. And it's a really cool cover drawn by Toraine Clark. Both this is cover A, and then also the cover A for number 2.
Okay, let me pull the real quick that one that you were talking about, so people can see where you're. This one right here, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Toraine Clark.
so this one comes out March 8th,
Hmm.
next month. So there you go,
Yep.
guys. You, geez, Mariah's making. I don't know. She's knocking things down over there. So and then I mean, you would think that more people will be talking about this since it's like a character that it was like from a long time ago. I don't
I
I mean
thought
I didn't
so.
yeah
When
at
it first
all.
got announced in October, I
Uh-huh.
thought there was going to be a bigger splash, but there just wasn't. And then I thought when the book came out, maybe there'd be a splash. But so far, people are kind of like, "Hey, this is kind of cool." Some people think it's,
A new
awesome.
character, maybe
Yeah,
they
and
thinking.
other people are more reserved about it. I mean, it is a new character. We have a lot of them, right? And then
Mhm.
the other thing is, if I'm honest, this so far the story has focused on Al Harper's family, and you've seen very little heroes. It's been more character building of the family, learning the family life and those relationships, and then there's a secret in the town. So it almost starts like maybe it could be kind of horror like, and you only
Oh,
see Silver Surfer at
yeah.
the very end.
Oh, now I'm invested in this, and I want to know. Like, obviously, want to read more,
Yeah.
and yes, and hopefully, maybe after this, people will realize, because a lot of people, obviously, like myself, like didn't know. Now they will kind of jump into this and be like, let's pick this up, let's
Hmm.
make this happen. What do you think, Cynthia?
Yeah, I'm surprised there's not more talk about it. Like, I mean, October, I mean, we're in February now, so I honestly hadn't heard of a new release. But I mean, like I s Silver Surfer's not my forte, so that's probably why I haven't heard of it.
Yeah,
But yeah, like there should be more talk about it, especially,
yeah,
because it's bringing him back in.
It's a
So,
Stan Lee created character,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you're not gonna have any more new Stan Lee created characters, so there's a limited
right,
number, and now you're gonna, so I think it's
right.
pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, this could be a sleeper hit, like the
Hmm.
Marvel. So
Mhm,
pick
mhm.
those up right now. Like, I mean, they're cover price. So, and then the
Yeah.
second one, issue 2, comes out on March 8th. So I don't know. I think it might be kind of late to pre-order. I'm not
Yeah,
sure,
it's I think
but
it's too late for number 2. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, I'm sure they'll pick you'll find it at the shops to pick
Yeah,
up your book.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think you'll have a problem if you get to the shops, decent time. Okay, Brooklyn. What's the number? All right.
Okay, so this one, The Adventures of a Black Eldritch, the
Yes,
Panther.
yes. So this one, you know, we were talking backstage. Some people talk about ghosts. This one is like a poltergeist, maybe. Um, so it was written in 1970 and published by Marcus Books, which is like a bookstore that focused on black books. And it was really, as I understand it. And by the way, let me stop for a minute. If you haven't yet, check out Black Key Comics. At sign Black Key Comics on Instagram. He is like, he is the biggest expert. We call him, Professor Time in the Black Comic Lords community. So he's done a lot of research and he shares that on his Instagram account. So he's the one that made everybody smarter about this book. So I just wanted to give a shout out to him.
Cool.
Um, so the interesting thing about this book, though, is it focuses on Eldridge Cleaver, who was a very a highly sought after public figure in this time because he was a Black Panther, and there are a lot of things that he did in support of the Black community and trying to give the Black community a chance to determine our own fate and have more control. But then there are also some violent things that happen too. So this book tells one of those stories. But there's also a lot happening in terms of, he was being monitored by the FBI, and then anybody that could be seen as supporting him were also being monitored by the FBI. So the interesting thing here is this book came out, and the FBI just started investigating the stores that were selling it. And what Black Key Comics on Instagram shared was that for this book, the FBI seized a lot of these books and destroyed them. So in the first place, there probably weren't a lot printed, and it was very local to the Bay Area in California. Second, a lot were seized and destroyed. So you're just not going to find this book anywhere. And it's almost like if you do happen to see a copy of it, then that's proof that the book exists because there's just so few. So if you happen to see one somehow, you better grab it. And
So like a piece of history right there.
yeah, it's a definite piece of history. There aren't going to be many at all available, and it. My guess is if you place it in the right place, you would get several $1,000s for it, almost regardless of the
Wow.
condition, just because it's so rare, so hard to find, and then
Hmm.
the story behind it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Right now, like it just clicked. Right now, this is the Panther. Like, isn't it? Jane Fonda helped a lot of the Panthers and stuff like that. I kind of remember her like because she was she was an activist or something like that, and I kind of remember something like hearing about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just right now like that kind of just random. Yeah, I remember hearing something about that she helped like this his daughter or something, one of the members. I can really remember. But this is pretty good.
Yeah,
And
pretty gruesome cover too. I mean, he's
yeah,
Yeah.
holding
Decapitated
a man's
head.
head. Yeah. So
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Cynthia?
Yeah, I was noticing the head. Like this, like I was definitely admiring the cover. Like this is pretty cool. Even though it's a grayscale black and white cover, this is pretty cool. The detail in the sketch is really nice. So
Yeah.
yeah, any type of ghost book, no matter what, like if you want it, you see it, you grab it, no matter the price. If you can swing it, pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
So don't think twice if you think it's too late.
Right? This
So.
is it says flex with this one.
I have this one in the vault. Is in
Right.
the vault.
See,
Eyes unseen.
let me see. Wait, let me see. Great time to hit up state sales. Oh, there you go. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You can
Never
get
know
lucky
what
at
you're
those.
gonna find. Yeah, and then I see always stripped down how much hate Jane Fonda for.
Yeah,
That's
Key and Queen
yeah,
Key Comics also mentioned that
yeah, yeah,
um, that Black Key Comics was on the Comic Hall Crew Show last week.
yeah,
Yeah, he talked about several books there too. Like I said, and to listen to him, he has a lot. He's a wealth of information, and if
nice.
you
I'm
want to know
gonna
about
find
Black
him.
books, he's the guy to go to.
I'll follow him. That's cool. I need to look him up. Okay, this one,
Okay.
Friday Foster #1, 1972, and like me and Cynthia were saying, how much we love this cover. Now
Yes.
tell us more
Yeah,
about
this
this.
is a dope cover. By the way, back to the previous book. We can't even find it on cover price. Cover price doesn't even
Oh
have
yeah,
it.
we
Yeah.
not even on eBay. You were saying that we couldn't find it anywhere.
No,
So
I don't think you'll find it on eBay
yeah,
either. I mean, if you find it on eBay, you better grab it, right? So I
yeah.
think your
So,
best luck is to check auctions, state sales, things like that. Okay.
oh, which one? This one? The
Oh,
this
yeah,
one or
we'll
the
go to the
next
next one.
one?
Yeah, yeah.
The next one. Okay, this one. Friday.
All
Friday.
right. So, Friday Foster. So this is a very cool book. First of all, the cover is great.
Yeah.
You didn't often see black women on covers um, at this point in time. And number two, this is basically one issue. Friday Foster has only ever showed up in one comic, um, but this is the first comic to headline a black woman as a lead titled character. It came after the comic strip, which was a few years earlier, and then a few years after the comic came out, then there was a movie that starred Pam Grier. So you had the comic strip, which was awesome, which kind of eventually spawned a comic book, at least a one shot, and then you have the movie that came out after that.
That's pretty.
And
Yeah.
Friday Foster is I think she was a former model who ends up getting a job working for a really popular photographer, and then through the course of her job she continually runs into a lot of intrigue and has to figure her way through that. So once again, really nice cover. um, in our community, a lot of people just love to have that for the cover, for the historic value.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, Cynthia. Now you wanted to say something about this one.
Yeah. Now that this one's on my radar, I'm definitely going to be looking for this cover because I collect cameras, and so my little niche with comic books is anything with a camera on the cover I pick up.
Hmm.
And I haven't seen this one yet. So now that I have, it's a must have. So yeah, this is really cool. Um, yeah, I've got so many
There's two cameras
covers
on the
with
cover. I
cameras on
just
them.
I
noticed.
know. I was
Yeah,
just
in
gonna
the
Yeah.
say that. I know.
guy
I
in
was
the
waiting for her to
background.
finish to say
Yep.
that there's two.
So yeah, like I've got so many covers that have cameras on them. I've got Killing Joke books from all over the world, like
Mm,
56 different variations. So pretty cool. And the story, I want to know more about the story because I've got a book that has the first female photojournalist in it. It's a golden age book.
mm.
And so yeah, this kind of follows in line with that. So I kind of really want to get this one too to go with that.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
also,
So.
and for
Uh,
those who are interested, obviously this is a one shot, but
yeah.
I think late last year, if you check Amazon, there was like a book that came out that had all of the or a lot of the Friday Foster comic strips as well. So you can get
Nice.
that on Amazon. Nice book, really, and it has this picture on the cover too.
Well, this
Oh,
one. I
okay.
mean, you saying that there's like couple on eBay. So this one, I mean, for like common slab 5.5 for 179, and raw for around 65 or
Um, I
102.
I'm thinking those prices seem a little low to me, and maybe they did sell at that, but I would just say I think it might be harder to get 5.5 at that price. I think it might be a little bit higher than that, but you
Yeah,
can definitely get raws, especially ones that are like reader copies
yeah,
at decent price.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. That I want to read her, and like I said, I like the when the comics they show a little love. So
Mhm.
Definitely want this one too. I really want this one now. She looks so pretty too on the cover.
She does. It's really nice.
Yeah. And you can tell like the way she's dressed, like the seven, like it looks
Yeah,
like the
that
70s.
jacket.
I like that.
Hmm.
Yes, like
Yeah.
you can tell it's the 70s. Oh, oops, it's wrong way. Okay, so this one we
Okay.
know
Yeah.
this one very well. Oh, wait, before we continue, I know somebody else. I think was a Mojo earlier said if we had talked about, and I completely forgot. Lobo.
Oh,
Wait a minute, but
so
we're not talking. We didn't add that one because I know we talked about it before when I think it was last year when we had Lucas and Rob about it. Like I know a lot of people like they're more common that people talk about it, so we went a little bit different, just stuff that you hardly ever seen on shows and stuff like that. I know this one, and I just remember because this one I know like we seen this one. A lot of people know about this one with Lobo too, but the other ones like I never really seen. So I like that it's still a little bit different. But we have to talk about Wonder Woman
oh,
at
absolutely.
204.
Yeah.
So tell us about this.
Yeah. So this is first of all the first appearance of Nubia, 1973. Interesting story because um, Wonder Woman gets amnesia. Um, um, but she has, I guess, this homing capability to know how to get back home even if she has amnesia. So she goes back, uh, you know, to her original home, and she's able to get restored. But then she gets challenged by this other Amazon, and you know, they fight to a draw. It turns out it's this black woman, and it's Nubia. And Nubia is a twin sister to Wonder Woman. You find out, I think, two issues later in 206 about her origin and how Nubia came to be. So the interesting thing about this and is that you don't see her face on the cover. Um, I think two issues later, you do see her face, but even in the issues where you do see her face, depending on what issue the country is from, there'll be different shades. Um, there'll be different shades of the color of the face. So some countries they'll make the face really white colored, even though she's a black woman, and others it'll be a more natural color for a black woman. So
Yeah.
just some interesting things there. We actually had a show with Robert Fordham.
I was just gonna say that when
Yep.
we
Yeah.
talked about it last year, I think when we had Robert, he showed us the difference, and I remember
Yes.
him explaining. So if you guys go back to the one that we did last year, he shows all the different kinds, and like you were saying that there were different colors that they do change the shade of her the color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he showed off his 206s that just came back from CGC. But it's just cool to see the differences from country to country, and then to see the evolution of the covers too.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
And I see Black Nerd Comic Conspiracies and Speculations asking a question. Do we
Yes,
have a black website with all this information? And we do. If you go to
nice.
blackcomiclords.net, um, you'll find a lot of things. We have what we call a Black Issue Explorer, and we have categories of books. We have books that we've identified as Grails, other books that are keys, and then other noteworthy books with Black characters or made by Black creators or Black stories in it. So it's a good website. And then we also try to keep our hey, Lucas.
Where are you? Send me the link. Come on. I freaking
Better
wish
late
it.
than never.
I'm dying. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, check out the
if
website,
you want,
blackcomiclords.net.
send me the link, and then for that, and I will add it to the description. So
Sure, sure.
you
I'll
guys
do that.
can. I should have asked you like so that we could add. I'll add it.
Yeah, and
Um,
and our goal was simply to have a place where anybody can go to learn more. And then also if you happen to be in a store and you can't remember what you saw when you were on our community, or or you just want to learn more while you're in the store, then hey, you can pull it up there too. So Yep.
So see, like Lucas, come on, I send you the link so that you can talk about some of the picks that we still haven't talked about. Some of them that we do have questions that we don't know anything about, Lucas. So yeah, come on. What do they say at those game shows? I feel so bad. Yeah, I feel bad. Come on, jump on. That is so funny.
Feel the pressure.
You know, good thing that Derek was here. He saved us, Lucas. If
Yes.
not, I will be like, I don't know anything about these books.
we we would have been in so much trouble.
We will postpone, but thank you. See, yeah, just, sorry, it just like, um, well, this book obviously is pricey, and he, uh, hold on, Lucas, I'll send you the link real quick. Do these they go in price now because they brought her back, like for the books,
Hmm.
right? Like the past
Yeah.
few years, I know they made like more, put new she Nubia, they came back, like they added her in the books and stuff like that, and a lot of people thought that she was a new character, which she wasn't. But do you think that's why it went up, right? Like with the prices?
Oh, it seemed like it was going up until, until all comics started kind of coming back down. And, you know, I don't know if her appearances in books are gonna take it up anymore because she's already been appearing lately. But I guess that the big question is gonna be, you got this, I forgot the name of the series that James Gunn is doing, right, on the Wonder Woman. What is it called?
If he's gonna bring it, the Amazons, something, the Amazons.
Yeah, they said
Okay.
it's the Amazons, but it's gonna be kind of uh
Hey, there he is.
yeah.
Oh man, how
Welcome.
embarrassing! The worst stereotype
Uh,
you
Oh
could
my god!
have.
I didn't think.
Uh,
What's up, Lucas?
yeah. You know,
Wait,
you try to be professional. You try and be you know. So all I can say, man, is enjoy. If you're young, just enjoy the youth, man, because you could just be up at all times of night. You know what I mean? Freaking clicking and
wait,
popping everything. But when you get my age and you try and take a dad nap, you might be down for the count. I
wait.
might have well been down all weekend, man. And the only reason why, I even put it on an alarm. I slept right through that, man.
Yeah, that you said that the stereotype didn't like Beyonce, like she was late for the awards, and the guy said like that the stereotype, like they were saying that they're because they're late, or I can't remember what he said, but that's funny because we're
Beyonce
always like
Lily.
too.
Yeah,
I'm always late
tarde,
too.
tarde, tarde. Hey.
Jeez.
Hey,
Well,
we've all
I'm
been
glad you
there.
made it. You made it. And Derek
I'm
was
gonna
just telling us about.
Trying to hold it down. Trying to hold it down.
and penance, I'm gonna have to change my name to burnt chitlins and greens and cornbread because I've been on the stove too doggone long. So yes, I appreciate y'all running through some of the books without me. But
But
yeah,
that
this
just the one that we
is
do have to like some of your picks that we didn't talk about. We will probably talk about it
okay.
at the end.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah.
well, do you want to add anything to this?
No, it's easy to say, man. Freaking Nubia. Um, First appearance of Nubia, Wonder Woman. Number 204. It's easy to see that. You're talking about. I don't know if you talked about the fact that with the way DC is rolling forward and with all the characters that they've actually brought up. One aspect that they might think about actually exploring is exploring all the lost islands of the different Wonder Women and Amazons. Part of that is the Nubia tribe that's out there. Part of that is the Brazilian tribe. So I'm just saying, you might want to pick those up. You might think about picking this up. It's up
Yeah,
to
that's
y'all.
kind of what Eric was just. Derek was just saying. Did I just call you Eric? Derek was saying.
All good. It rhymes.
Derek was saying, like, with the new stuff coming, maybe they might add it.
And that, I
Yeah.
guess that new series is going to be like a Game of Thrones type of series, which to me says, yeah, a whole bunch of different kingdoms and,
Wow.
sprawling is what comes to mind for me.
So you
Right.
never know. Like it's my they might, So that's good. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This one's Legends number one, 1986. And let's see who wants to take it. Derek, you want to start, and then we'll go down. Let me
Oh,
see,
well,
and
this
then
one's,
go.
getting a lot of attention. Once again, because James Gunn just announced that Amanda Waller's going to have her own series. So a lot of people, if they weren't hopping before, they're hopping to get this book. So 1986, and great character, just kind of continuing. I hope she'll be the same character that she's been in the previous, shows, Suicide Squad, and then um, the forgot the guy's name, the other HBO show that just came out.
Oh,
Peacemaker.
yeah,
Peacemaker.
that one.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, yeah.
Okay, Lucas. What do you think?
Well, first you gotta show. No, they've already shown her as the bad person, right? But now you're gonna have to show her like where she's coming from. So everybody's got to be on her side because I think they've done that enough, right? So if they might do like a little prequel to like where she was before and show her as a young person, and then eventually show her to be like, hey, now she's the very competent, competitive, how she got up in the world, right? Um, and I think what they'll probably show is that she was just a sweet little old lady before, right? And then um, and then sometimes it's so for instance, like in my job, it wasn't that I'm competent. It's just that I was the dude that showed up, right? I was the dude that showed up every day, and then while the freaking walls are crumbling around you, uh, you know, you were the dude to show up. So that might be where they're coming with Waller. And then in the meantime, you're just this person who just happened to show up every day, and you got to deal with all these freaking different superheroes. So I think that'll be the best part about that they're going to bring out all these different superheroes and all these other characters, all these other fringe characters that they're going to show. So man, it's going to be interesting. I just don't know. So what is this? This says last recorded sales value at $10. Most common slapped 145. I'm surprised it hasn't risen a lot more out of this though.
Do you think is it because they're like waiting to see like a trailer or something like that? Mm,
Because
Maybe people
no,
will
it's
start
because
picking it
it's
up.
because no, it's
High
because
print.
come on,
So
no,
many
it's
printed.
because
Yeah.
no, because what have I always said about what happened during the pandemic? When the pandemic happened and people need a little bit of cash, the first thing happened was the minority women. Their books were the first ones that people started selling first. All the little moon girls started selling them for about 40, $50, right? And before eventually going up for 2000. Some of those Naomi's, you know, stuff that we had known that stuff was projects going on. People was like, we don't think this is really going on, so they started selling those like really quick. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Mm.
what's happening here.
And then there was also a character that has been already out too, like
It's
right,
in
like
everything.
yeah,
It's in
yeah.
everything except for I've seen this character in a whole bunch of DC stuff except for Doom Patrol. That is the
Mm-hmm.
only one that I never saw her come across.
Yeah.
All the other little animated stuff she's in, Peacemaker she's in,
Mm-hmm.
Justice League she's in,
Well, it's just
Batman
because
she's
she's
in.
yeah, because it's not a new character being introduced. It's just something that she has been around.
Exactly. So it's being around should mean that she's an iconic character.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
But
Yeah.
but in the minds and mentality of a lot of people, just because you've been around I would say, and I hate to play this card, but a strong, independent, competent African American woman who's at the top and making executive decisions, they're not really willing to put that to the test yet, or say, "Hey, this is a person." But a fucking bullshit Red Hulk general, yeah, fucking we're all over that. We're all over that. Really, fucking, you know, come on, get the fuck out. Oh,
Yeah.
or a crazy ass, or a crazy ass freaking psychiatrist female who's in love with this rat hood freaking Joker. Oh yeah, we love that shit. We're all over that bad
Yeah.
animated shit.
Yeah. See, I need to learn, like, even from the movies, like I don't know much about her, so like I would like to read more about her character. So here, starting here with her first appearance, like it will be a great book. And I
Yeah,
mean, good for
they
me
should
that
have.
I can
Yeah,
pick this up for this price, that it's more like that I'm able to afford.
yeah. They should
So
have a graphic novel
and
or a book that just says
and
Waller.
then
You know.
now like push it now, like that, like you were saying, she's a strong character and she's boss. So yeah, Cynthia, you have anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, I like what Mojo Quid is saying is like get ready now. The anti woke bros are gonna be crying about a Waller shown soon enough. I
Cynthia.
don't.
Oh, Lucas, I don't know if you know Cynthia. Lucas, Cynthia.
Nice to meet you,
Hello.
Cynthia.
International.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So Jay Nunya says, "Hey, no love for Niobe and Trina Comics." So there were certain books that we actually covered last year. That I
Mhm.
decided not to cover in this one.
That's what I was
Um,
telling them earlier.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so you guys have to watch the one from last year's. But yeah, yeah,
Shout out
yeah.
to Stranger Comics and Sebastian Jones. They put up some good stuff.
Hmm.
Art is awesome. Check it out. Great
Yes.
work.
Yeah, I love all that. Sorry, Cynthia, do you have anything to add to this?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it sounds like she's a great lady. Like, I mean, who doesn't want to see a powerful woman take charge? Like,
right,
I'm sorry. Nobody likes somebody you can push over.
right.
And I think having a powerful Black American female in that role is a powerful role. Like, why not? I
Hmm.
mean, I'm I know a few of these ladies in my life, and they can have some strong force behind them. When they speak, you listen. Like,
Hmm.
force to be
Better.
reckoned with.
Yeah, there
So
you
yeah,
go.
like, heck
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you have a show with her in it, I'd watch the hell out of it. I
Right.
mean,
yeah. I first again, because I don't know much of the character, but now like I
yeah.
wanna learn more. So I wanna
I
read
mean,
this. I wanna read this.
somebody's got to keep these superheroes in check. I mean, they think they
Yeah.
can, come and do as pleases, and she's gonna put them in check and put them right back in their place. Why not? Do
Yes. Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go with this
Um,
one.
just one quick
Oh
thing,
wait.
Lucy. I
Yeah,
don't know if you saw there was a super chat from Nimish.
I did
Really early.
at the
Okay.
beginning. Yeah, at the beginning I said, right. I did say that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed. Okay.
You
All
didn't
right. Cool.
hear me,
Cool.
fool? Just kidding. Yeah, no, I did. Thank you, Nimesh. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this one, Derek, we'll start with you, and then we'll go down the
Yeah,
line.
yeah. So, as far as we know in the Black Comic Lords community, this book right here is the first cover and first appearance of a Black superhero nuclear family,
Hmm.
meaning father, mother, and at least one child. So we really, the family actually shows up on the first print and the second print. However, they're kind of like it's really hard to see on the first print. Second print, you can see their faces really well, even their dog, right? And then you got Thanos to boot. So this is just a great cover. And once again, you think about how long it took all the way to 2015 to have a Black nuclear superhero family on the cover. So it's just a good book. And if you haven't read the series, it's a pretty cool series. I tend to think it could potentially be a good Disney Plus show at some point in time too. So yeah, Infinity
No,
Gauntlet #1 second print.
nice. Lucas, I think you the one who told us to add this. I don't remember.
No,
No.
no, that
Oh,
wasn't
it was
me. I
Derek.
have,
Okay.
yeah, I've never heard of these people. These looks like
No,
Oh.
for
it's
last names
the
is
Bakion.
Bacchus,
Yeah, yeah.
and one of them is no. Oh, looks like two of them are Novas,
So
and
yeah,
they
the
must.
mother is a Nova, and then they all end up getting Nova suits through the course of this series. Um,
Even a
Good.
dog?
The dog. I know even
the
the
dog
dog
too.
has a.
Dog too. You've seen the dog flying around too.
I
It's
see.
good.
Thank
It's
you.
good.
Great
Good
series.
series.
Oh, nice. I want to read this. This is a really great cover. So now, Lucas, there's something new for you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, this is a lot better than any of that static stuff that's floating around DC. Look at the art. The art is pretty cool. I mean, I'm gonna definitely check this out and definitely looking some backmans for this one.
Yeah, I really like the art too. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Cynthia, who do you?
Come on,
Yeah.
Chad. You could have said that without cussing, man. Because I do like your point. He says Viola Davis is terrifying. Absolutely, I think she's honed that skill from what's the name of that show? How to Get Away with Murder.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh.
they they
Yep.
gave that shot a pistol and he pointed it at the guard. She told him to shoot him because yeah, absolutely. She got that confident. I'm gonna tell you what to do. Let's get it done. Freaking
She's
damn
an
look.
amazing
Yeah,
artist. She's an actress. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, Cynthia. Sorry.
Yeah, this is another one I'm not familiar with, but just
Mhm.
going off the cover alone, yeah, the art is really nice. The the female character here in the very front, she's beautiful. Like, I love it. She's got the natural hair going on, and I love her costume.
Mhm.
And the little girl in the back with the dog, she's adorable. So yeah, I'd
Mhm.
read this just based off the cover
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
definitely want to know their story. I want to read more about them.
Yeah.
They looks like they do everything together as a family. So family
That's
matters.
And kind of the
yes.
backstory is Thanos is let's see, the daughter somehow comes into the one of the stones. It's not the time stone. It's the mind stone, I think. And now Thanos is basically chasing them around, trying to get it. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Hmm.
Ricky and Jen. Right. Well, this is a great, yeah, like you guys are saying, great cover, and then we'll look. The story looks pretty uh
And
interesting. So they need
since
to.
2015, somebody in the chat asked a question, what happened to them?
Yeah, what happened to them?
I don't think they've had
Yeah,
any.
like.
I can't think of any appearances, but I'm probably not the
Mhm,
biggest expert. But I'm not. I don't know if they've had any other appearances, but probably
mhm.
not any super prominent ones.
So hopefully, maybe they'll bring him back too. So that'll be good to see if they can bring them back.
Yeah.
Eric's saying that they have the one out of 25,
Oh yeah,
the
both of those.
cover. Very
The
nice.
Granoff one in 25 and the Forbes one. I think I have the Forbes one in 25 somewhere here. Do I have it behind me? No.
So if
All right.
Lex Luthor had a thing for Waller, does that
See if I
possibly
can find
mean
it.
he could be her father,
Oh,
the
oops.
her daughter's father?
I just had a thing for what? What? I don't
Yeah.
know.
So in the show, Waller has a daughter. I don't know if she's in the comics
Oh
yet.
yes. Okay.
I wonder if Lex Luthor is possibly her dad, even though old girl is a little dark, but you never know. Um,
What do
yeah.
you have? What do you have, Derek?
Yeah, so Queen Key Comics is talking about issue 2 cover,
Mm-hmm.
and then also somebody else mentioned the Forbes. So here's the Forbes
Hold on.
cover
Let me try to figure it out.
of
Hold on.
Infinity Gauntlet number
There it
2.
is.
So it's like the one in 25, and yeah, a lot of people do think it's Riri Williams, but
Oh, it does look like
it's
Riri.
Onwin Bakian is her name.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Nice.
So she said that's why she laughed at
Hmm.
that. Okay. Now that's a really nice cover. I like it. I like it. Okay. So look, this was yours.
All right, Doctor Who is making a comeback. This is something that had been talked about for the last 3 years at nauseum. People are sick of me talking about sci-fi. So Doctor Who, the point of Doctor Who is that when he dies, he comes back as a different character, and eventually, and they forget all their memories, but eventually they get it back, and that helps them along the way, right? But it usually is not until they actually need it to get that back. One of the ones that just came up this year was this version of Doctor Who, which was the first African American female Doctor Who, which is called the Fugitive Doctor. the reason why I think this is an interesting play is because the Doctor Who uh, license and enterprise is getting a lot more money through Disney to do a lot more stuff. This Doctor Who plus the other Doctor Who, which is an African American male, are probably going to play pretty big in that series going forward. So this one right here, I think this cover right here was the first appearance of that Doctor Who um, series. It was like it was a little weird because there was this, then there was a free comic book day, but I do believe this one was the first appearance. Look at you, Chad, freaking coming up.
Thank you, Chad. Round
So
of applause for Chad.
so you mentioned Disney. So does Disney own the rights, or is it just like some distribution rights, or how does that work? You know?
They own the distribution rights as
Okay.
well as they've been given I forget what this is Dr. Moffin. I forget what the guy's name is. So what happened was when the original one of the second director came up and BBC was talking to say, hey man, you gotta bring Doctor Who back. You gotta bring Doctor Who back. He was like, okay, I will. I'll work on this for 5 years, but after those 5 years, I will keep working it, but you got to let me take this to whatever studio that I want to,
Mm.
and so we can get more money. And BBC was like, "All right, good, just bring it back." So he did that, and he did it really well. But you could tell during that end of those other 2 years, those last 2 years, it was like a little weird, and nobody gave a damn. Like that one Caucasian female doctor, it was like weird. It was weird stories that nobody came around. Like she had they had her talking to like Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X all in the same room, and it was like the writing was just terrible on that one. But you could tell they were setting up for something else, and this is what they were setting up for.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, he took that. Apparently, he was talking to Disney. Disney says, "Yep, we're gonna freaking take Doctor Who, and we're gonna give him a money injection." So it's gonna be interesting to see what's going on going forward.
See, I was paying attention to the drunken chat when Derek was saying like they like we were talking about this, and I was like, I'm pretty sure Lucas Seg was the first female, like a female Doctor Who. And I
Right.
remember. It's rare that I remember things, but I was paying attention to this. I knew it was important. That's pretty cool, and I like that it's not. I like that she's an older like female that is not like 18-year-old like
Hey.
that is like with experience. I like
Right.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Celia, you want to add anything, or is that Derek? Do you guys want to add anything to this one
Like
before we move on?
like I said previously, anybody looking over the brim of your glasses, they mean business.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you did. Last
That's
show
the look
you
my
did.
mother gives me. I get scared
hmm
when I look at that picture.
Looking over
I
the
need
brim of those
glasses.
glasses.
Now I need
Oh.
glasses.
So
'Cause-
should this be a speculated thing? Just like there are people out there who love bubblegum.
oh,
Oh,
Yes,
that's a
there
good
you go.
tell.
There you
there you
go.
go.
That's true. Yeah, because look at me. I am short, so
Me
a lot of
too.
people are not afraid of me. So I
I'm
need those
I'm
glasses.
5'2", so hey, I,
I'm
I feel you.
5. I'm still
Oh
shorter than
wow!
you.
Yay!
I'm just
I feel
5.
straight taller.
I'm
Just a bit.
little. Look at my hands; they're like tiny. Yeah, look at my phone; it's like bigger than my hands. So yeah, if you, I think I'm like a little chihuahua, like like
Hey,
yeah,
those things are
that's
vicious.
yeah. Oh, okay, I like that. Okay, so this one, Duck must.
It's cute.
Okay, before my
Mhm.
little niece, she used to love this cartoon on Disney Channel, and I will could never pronounce the last name. I always say McMuffins.
McStuffins,
McStuffins.
It's
and it's not a
McStuffins.
porn name. I swear to God.
Mhm.
And it's Doug Muck. You see, can't even because I have always said it like that, and now I can change it. I always like muffins, and I will watch it. Like, ooh, always watch it. And in her first birthday party, remember I bought her costume was Lammy. She was Lammy for
What?
Halloween. So I thought it was really cute that you added this one, Lucas. So tell us about this one.
What have I always said? Don't look at what you like always. Sometimes you got to look at
Yep.
what the future looks like, right? So 20 years from now, when they got a little bit of cash to spend and they're going to be looking at the collectibles, they're going to be looking at what was around. So I would say look into getting this one. Um, and I didn't have enough time to do a lot of research on the whole Doc McStuffins book line and everything. But if there's another first parents comic that's out there, grab that. But from what I could tell, this might be it. So Doc McStuffins, Lambie and McStuffin Babe, she is an African American who plays a doctor, right? So come on now, that's if you want to freaking press to the future, and tell me that there isn't going to be some little girl out there that isn't going to say, "Well, I was inspired to be a doctor because I used to watch this cartoon." You got to be lying or you got to be crazy, right? Now there may be some that'll be jealous, I mean, or embarrassed to say, "Yeah, I was inspired by Doc McStuffins." But I will tell you, I do think this is a thing. Like just like you say, "Hey, your little niece loves this show," just like some love that other show, Peppa Pig, that's out there. Which and what's the other one? Dora the Explorer. There's
Dora
a
the
whole line
Explorer.
of
Yeah.
books. Yeah, there's a whole line of books that you could probably look into. But
Yeah.
as far as an African American that was fully meant to inspire young girls, this is it for me.
See, and yeah, my niece, she's really mixed. She is quarter black, quarter Mexican, and Filipino. So like
Yeah, but Lambie, that's
she's
Mexican full
she's
way.
super.
That's Mexican all the way. Lambie, you got that one hood
But
rap friend, Lambie.
Lemmy,
Lambi, yeah,
Lemmy.
Lambi,
It's this one. I don't want to say like I put it on for Mariah the other day. It's such a cute show. I thought it was really cute. So, um, yeah, I'm sure I don't think I ever came across these this book, and I'm sure probably shops they don't order too many of this ones. It's for kids, and obviously when they buy them, kids are not gonna take care of the comics,
Mhm.
and uh, because I mean I'm sure nobody you're not buying this book be like, oh, this is gonna make me money, right? No, you're buying it for your kid.
Right.
um and I don't think many shops will order like I mean maybe what 5 copies maybe
Well,
not
yeah,
that
you gotta,
many. So
yeah. If it's depending on who the publisher is, usually you have to
yeah.
buy at least 10
Hmm.
of each one, and then for it just to sit around, the problematic thing is if you don't have children and you're just some retailer at freaking or retailer manager at freaking Target and you don't have kids and you've never heard of the show, you're like, whatever. Um, and especially if nobody asks me, you're like, whatever, and you don't order enough or you order too little. And in the meantime, most of the traffic for books is going on to Amazon, unfortunately. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And let's see. I think. Oh, there's this one. Derek added this
Oh
one,
yeah,
and
yeah. So
Cynthia.
yeah, I just
Okay.
wanted to plug this book, Invisible Men. It covers some of the early black artists in the comic book industry. You know, you're just fighting just to get your name and credits, or just to get a job in the first place, and then at that maybe to get your name and credits. So it covers who they were, what they had to do to get to where they got to. It is written by Ken Quattro, who's an excellent comic book historian. So check that out.
Yes.
Nice. So Cynthia,
Def-
you were saying something about him earlier.
Yeah, Mr. Quantro, I actually had the pleasure of speaking with him a couple of times he helped me in my camera comics run that I completed. It's a golden age run that's was only 1 through 9 and came out in the 40s. It was a set that was very, very unheard of until actually started looking around and digging around, and he actually introduced me to a book, another camera comic that I didn't know about. It was a promotional Kodak ad that was released back in the 40s as well. So he's a great guy. He's very, very intelligent. He knows what he's talking about, and I I friended him on Facebook, so I actually see a lot of his posts all the time about his articles that he writes. So he's really cool, and I definitely would like to pick up his book one day and give it a good read because I know it's going to be just as good as his articles are.
That's pretty awesome. That's
Mhm.
good. So this one you were saying that okay, where is the new book? They it will help you learn more of black artists and comics and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
nice. That's nice. I think, and I think that was our last one. Yeah, that was our last one. For today. Um, I don't know if you wanted to talk. I mean, we wanted to ask you before, Lucas, but too late now. Derek, like the one that the very first book they I don't know how. Okay, well, just I don't. We'll see how you're gonna talk
You
about
said, you
this
telling
one.
me you couldn't take this without me, Lisa? Lucy?
No,
Mean,
I didn't
mean,
know
penguin,
how you
mean,
were gonna
penguin.
talk about this. I don't know what
Yeah,
you were gonna
Lucas,
say. I don't know.
yeah, I didn't know what your message was going to be about this one. So, I did some research
Yeah,
after I saw it, and I was interested to hear what you're going to say.
yeah.
You know.
Okay, so first of all, well, it's it's a dual weird cultural thing, right? Because once again, this was
Hmm.
a book that was out of Mexico, where they don't have that historical racial history like we do here in the United States. So for this little black boy to be doing his thing, it was different. The problem is that when some of the culture started seeping in here, they were like, because I think it was like during the '90s or was it during the 2000s that Moscow was like, hey,
2000,
we're gonna
2008, I think, was when it
yeah,
hit
they was like, "Hey,
Mexico pretty good.
we're gonna have this freaking stamp," and motherfuckers like, "Oh, hey, oh no, hey, no, we are not doing this today." Like, why not? They're like, "Well, that's blackface." It's like, no, it's just a little black kid, that we've had since forever, right? So look, I love this book. As soon as I can find a copy that's cheap enough for me to freaking get, I'm definitely going to grab it because I don't care about that. That's not it's not part of my culture. I don't care, but I do love that for a long time. It was fact. Did you find the year when this came out, Lucy, or what?
No,
Uh,
Okay,
I did
we
some
Derek
research,
was.
and I think it was originally the first one was written in 1947.
right,
Mhm.
I
right,
forget the lady's name though, but she's in Mexico.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
And
Um,
it's problematic for a lot of a lot of people in the United States
right,
when they
but
saw it. And I did the research on it, and it's problematic for me actually, and I'll tell you why. Because when I look at the book, there are other characters who have much lighter complexion skin, and all the other characters look like regular humans, and they just kind of make this black kid look like a monkey. I'll just go and say it. So then I
well,
wonder, and I know the lady wrote this, and it was supposed to be an educational book, and he's
mhm.
a really endearing character in Mexico. But I kind of wonder where she got her inspiration from at the same time back in 1947 for the drawing aspect of
so
it.
there was a lot. So back in the day, and there's a lot less of us left. Us Africans looked a lot more like this. Even when I go home, a lot of my cousins look exactly like this. So you see a racist caricature, I just see my cousins.
Hmm.
I see me. I
And
bald head, dark complexion, big lips. That's me all day.
yeah, you see, and I was just telling Derek that I don't I again I don't know the inspiration of this lady, like, because it says vamos a la escuela, that means let's go to school, right?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, there was oh my god, an actor, comedian, but he was like more for adults and stuff like that, and he used to say some of the stuff that, and then that he would say, like, kind of like mean penguin, and then
Mhm.
man, can't remember the name of him, and of this oh my gosh, of the actor. I'm trying to remember. And I was telling them that he was from Cuba.
Mm,
He was Cuban,
yeah.
and but yeah, I don't know. I wish I don't know if she's even alive. Like, I'm gonna look it up and see if I can find the inspiration
Right.
of this lady,
Right.
because, like, Derek was saying that it was like more for school, and I remember being like a cartoon about this, um, but I don't know. I
Okay.
don't
Or
think
has
my
she
grandma,
even or has she even ever met, black people,
my
or
grandma done.
was she just going off of the other characters of black people at the time? That's one thing. But for me, I don't I can't understand it. It's because once again, I've got cousins that look like that. Freaking, hello Tunde, hey freaking, Tunde and Femi and us. Hey, we look just like that. Big lips. No, some of Tunde. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning and he's out in the freaking dark, you can't freaking see him for nothing. So and the way
Mm-hmm.
he acts is just crazy. What I mean, he had never really seen a car till he was on his way to the airport over here to see um, to come to the United
Hmm.
States. So, um,
But
but the problematic characters I've seen are the ones where it's blackface. Those are the ones that I find problematic.
hmm.
If you guys haven't seen it already, Babylon is a great freaking movie that addresses that. There's this one scene where they have Louis Armstrong and his first days of coming into Hollywood, and they have him dressed as blackface because anybody that was uh, as blackface had to be a certain tint, if you know what I mean. You probably don't. Interesting movie. Go see it. Now with kids.
okay, so well, that was it for tonight. Thank you so much, Derek. I really appreciate all of um, your list that you send us, and I have learned a lot. I don't know if you missed some of the other ones, Lucas. Some of the other books they gonna show real quick that,
All
like, we
Nigo.
talk about. Yeah,
Uncle Tom's
we
Cabin.
talked
Great,
about.
great one.
This one was my favorite.
Yep.
That
Weird
Derek
fantasy. In fact, right. In
talked
fact,
about.
yeah, I think in fact that was another great one that we covered last year. If we didn't cover this on this show, we might have covered it on Drunken Chat.
Hmm.
Great one because there was a lot of stories that they weren't allowed to have a black character, excuse me, as the lead. So they put the helmet on, and then all of a sudden it was real. The what is it? I forget the name of the society or the code. It was the something ethics code or something like that. They were like, oh no no no, you can't have that, or if you're gonna do it, make sure you keep his helmet on. And it was like, nah, you
Yeah,
gotta
that's what
understand that that's
Derek
the whole
was.
point. And then it was like, all right,
Yeah,
let it run. And it was
yeah,
actually pretty good.
and but yeah, that was this one was like my favorite that Derek was telling us about, and he has it in the back, um, and he was saying that um you can find that the second, I mean, a reprint, right? You were
Yeah, you can
saying
get the
that.
reprint. I think it came out in, like, I don't know, 93 or 97 or 98. But yeah, you can find it. Yeah, pretty easy.
Yeah, so that was one of my favorites. Thank you again. And hopefully we can do this again. You can come back again, Derek. Teach us more.
Thanks. Well,
And
I'm only spreading what I've learned from a lot of other people. So,
yeah, I know we have Timiko last Friday.
hmm
She was amazing, and I hope she can come
Yeah,
back
yeah.
again.
hmm
And yeah, like, it's send me the website so I
Yeah,
can add
absolutely.
it.
I'll do that. hmm
Make sure, where can they find you, Derek?
Yeah, yeah. So you can first of all check out Black Comic Lords. We have both Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever Facebook group. We have our website, blackcomiclords.net, and then you can also check out our YouTube channel. In the month of January and early February, we did a lot of really great interviews with some hot names. So check out the channel, especially the live shows, because we just some of the names of people we interviewed just awesome. And yeah, for me personally, you let's see, you see me in the chats, H&H Comics, but usually most of my work is through Black Comic Lords.
Yeah, yeah. You if you see you on the show on the shows and on the chat, so I was really happy to that you joined us, and obviously you can find Lucas. Where can they find you, Lucas?
Yep. You can find me at Chitlins Greens and Cornbread. If you didn't like anything I said, you could explain to my Nigerian black ass why you didn't freaking like what I said. And then and understand that this is a beautiful open world that's not confined to your neck of the hood. And then just come at me.
And it's Andre in the chat. No, it's of tonight. You're going on tonight.
Yep. Maybe we'll go early. Maybe we'll wait until Brian is done with the top 10 or something like that. We got that going on, and then I think later on this week we're also doing the what's it called? I forget, the Marvel Comics reviews or of forget the name of that show, but yeah, I got all types of weird stuff going on this week, including the How May It Help You comic sale, just all types of weird stuff. So I'm glad I got my old man nap in today.
And Cynthia.
You can find me on IG at Lady International. I hang out there. If not, I will be co-hosting with International Comics.
Yeah, or you here with us.
Or yeah, find me here.
I'll be
Cynthia,
dragging her here.
Cynthia, you might need to showcase your camera comics at some point in time. This would be
Yeah,
interesting.
absolutely. Yeah,
Right, right.
anytime.
And well, obviously, you guys can find me and my comic on Instagram and here every Tuesday and Friday. Shoot, I forgot to add the from the other shows on our channel. We have tomorrow Teen Hurt in the morning. I'm gonna see if I can remember. I think it's Toys, and then on Sunday they have another show. Dang it, I don't
Yeah.
remember. Sorry, guys. I know. Just check
So
our
no,
times.
it's problematic because how many times I was like, "Hey guys, would you mind sending me like a list of all the shows so I could put it on a
You know
calendar
what?
and then we can just put
I
it out."
made it. I made it. I did it. I did the list and I can't remember. I'm the one who made it and I don't remember. But just check our channel. I
No,
know Monday
you
for
should have them
sure.
on video. You can just pop up the video like, "Hey
I
everybody, by the way, boom, five
you
seconds."
know,
There you go.
I do hold on, let me see if I can because I do have it's gonna take forever. Never mind. Just check our channel. And on Monday for sure they have comic lovers and well we're back on Tuesday and then long story short on Thursdays. There's a show every day. So make sure to subscribe and thank you guys. Thank you for joining. And that's it for tonight. Thank you. And let me see if I can do this right. The outro. Okay, let's go. Bye.